what you've got. You've got your freedom now, finished. But how these people who were absolutely at the bottom, who did nothing for the country, sacrificed nothing for the country, just came up on top, and all the good people went down. If you read the history of Shivaji or Rana Pratap or any one of them, Shalimahana, anyone, you'll be surprised how they used to worship Shakti. All the Kshatriyas used to worship Shakti. And they would go up to a point and not beyond. Up to the point till the Dharma was there. That history I cannot repeat it to you. But in the subtle way one feels that this partition suddenly changed the attitude of people. Or I should say those who were very low level, they came up. I remember I was here at that time, partition time, and I was married, and 3 people came to me. I was sitting outside in the garden, knitting something for my child because I was pregnant. So they came and they looked at me and they said, "Can we have one room in your house?" I said, "Why not? I've got it. It's a very big house of my father. I'll give it to you." He said, "We need for 1 or 2 months, we are refugees." It's all right. And it has an outside door, you need not bother us. And there's a also kitchen attached and a bathroom attached. You can do whatever you like. Just I offer. In the evening my brother came, elder brother and my husband, and both of them were friends, and he was just shouting at me. These people were in the other room. "What do you mean by keeping such people? Who are they? What will they do?" And this and that. I said, "What will they do? They may steal something from me. So what is there in this house to steal? They are refugees, look nice people. To me, I have approved them. Because of vibrations, they are all right. No. Better throw them away." I said, "Look at these people." Without even talking to them, knowing them, suddenly you are asking them to get out only because they are refugees. Then I did feel that in this country a new wave has started, that a person is not respected if he has no money. He is not trusted if you have no money. Actually it is the other way round. Those who have money, you better never trust them. And those who don't have money are much more honest people in this country than the people who have money, who are all cheats practically. So it happened like this, and I said, "No, they is going to stay here." I put down my foot. I said, "This house my father has given me, and they are going to stay here." Poor things, they stayed for a month in a very, I think, must be very much embarrassed. And while they were there, so many Sikhs, that time it was a big organization, Sikhs and RSS were one, and they came to my house. And this we have heard, there's a Muslim staying with you. There was a Muslim. And we are going to kill that Muslim. I said, "What makes you think there's a Muslim? We've got reports." I said, "Wrong, there's no Muslim in the house." I told him a lie. So they said, how are we to believe? I said, see, I am wearing a thing. I am a Hindu lady. How will I keep a Muslim in my house? They are all frightened of them. And there's no one like that. Somehow or other they believed me. I told a complete lie, but they believed me. They had brought lots of those swords with blood. But I was not afraid, and I told them in a very determined manner. Anybody else in my place would have said, all right, there is one you can take away. Then these three persons who were there left my house, and one of them is a very famous actress, another one is a very famous poet, and another one is a very, very famous writer. And it so happened that they wanted to make a film about young people, and I was the chairman of that, vice chairman of that. And they wanted to call this actress. I said, don't tell her my name, because I had lost her completely. I just said, let it be, wherever they are, let them be here. There's no, sort of, I never made any inquiries or anything. Don't tell them my name. He said, why? I said, for some reason, you just don't tell her my name. Otherwise she'll be compelled to say yes, which I don't want. So when they went to her and asked her, she said, I must get a sari, I must get a chappal, I must get a purse to match, must get this, all this you have to pay, plus so much money you will have to pay. They said, ours is charitable. She said, whatever it is. I said, all right, give her whatever she asked for. Then I went for the opening ceremony. And she saw me. And she couldn't control herself, so tears started rolling down. Just came and fell at my feet. She said, how are you here after such a long time? So they said, she is the one who is making this film. What? She is making this film? Why didn't you tell me? My God, my God. She couldn't help it, she was crying. I said, no, it's all right. She said, you take money from me. I'll pay for the whole making of the film. You don't know this lady. You don't know her. What she's done for me, nobody would do. She had done. She said, she never told us anything. How are we to know? Such a change that immediately she telephoned to her husband and to this great poet. They all came running, and they also. But a small good gesture of administration. That was my house, given to me by my father. That time, of course, my husband and my brother didn't know how to trust people. But I trusted them fully. They were saying they will cut your throat. Why? Why will they cut my throat? For what? All kinds of funny things they were thinking. And the worst thing I felt was they were afraid because they had no money. That is the beginning of the end, I think. In our country, this struggle for money started after that. Without money, people started suffering very much. Poor people don't mind because they are used to it. Whatever money they have, they eat it and sleep off. They were not also very, very poor people as they are today. But they were poor people, no doubt. But what I realized at that moment, that the people who have any position, or any power or anything are literally frightened of everybody else. This is the beginning of our downfall. We got frightened. Those who were in charge got frightened that I may lose my seat, or I may lose my money, I may lose my power. That fright kept them absolutely mad. Supposing I am left with no money, so what? What happens? All these thoughts started coming after that partition. I felt is everywhere. While I'll tell you, in my childhood, my father never used to lock the house. It was a very big house, he never used to lock. And we had a very beautiful gramophone with all that horn sort of a thing. And one day one thief came and stole that. So, next day we discovered, my father said, poor thing, he was fond of music, so he's taken away, doesn't matter, but he didn't take the records. So that now what will he use? He must have records. So my mother started teasing him, all right, you advertise now. The one who has stolen our gramophone should come and take the records, they are available for him. It's so natural, you know. He just felt we have money after all. This fellow doesn't have money. And he has, he wants to listen to music, you see. So my father said, all right. Otherwise he was a criminal lawyer. My father knew law very well. He was not a stupid fool. But he couldn't understand this fellow has only taken gramophone records, gramophone only, without the records. He said he must not have found it, to see it was there kept and all that. My mother said, you better advertise it. He was a politician also in a way. So that time the feeling among the politicians was to how to raise the standard of these people who are not having what we are having. All the people who had money donated lavishly to so many things. I mean, in my place there was one Ram Bahadur, Shri Lakshmi Narayan. He donated all his money, everything, to a big university. Most of the things that happened in those days were done by charity people. I mean, they never thought our children should have so much money, crores and crores and crores. They never thought like that. Whatever limited money they had, they wanted to donate and do something good for others. So when the Raja Lakshmi, that is the one responsible for looking after the benevolence of the people, when she acts, people think that they have, not even think, they do it automatically, that they are there for benevolence. They don't have to tell themselves, it's just that they feel that it is their job. This is what they have to do, is to look after the people that are to be brought to better levels of life. This is what they think. They don't think like party politics, who is coming up, whom to kill, nothing of the kind. Under the influence of the goddess of Lakshmi, which rules the political side, we can say, the kingdoms and all that,